Hello everyone and welcome back. This is my guide to Act 4. There is no map at the end of this video as every area in the act is required. I hope you enjoy. Once in Act 4 we go straight down to this dried lake. This can be a good area to level. In fact, when the game used to only be 4 acts, this was the best place to level up before you went to the next set of areas. What we're looking for in here is a boss. This isn't it. The boss will be surrounded by fences and near a book. There's the book. Let's head into the middle. This fight is fairly straightforward. When he starts charging towards you, he's sort of locked and you can just sidestep out of the way or move out of the way ready to attack him again. Every so often he'll hit with that stick. It's signalled well enough that you can pretty much always avoid it. Once he's down, I tend to continue in this area until I get to level 30 if I'm below. Once you've got what you need, log out. We'll then go up the side of this room and we will reach a gate. We just click on that to open it now that we've got the banner from the guy we just killed. Once in here, we head left and then try and find our way up to the exit, which is always at the top of the arena for the first section. Here's the exit and the mines level 2. In the mines level 2, there is an objective to free Deshret. So we will try and find her. If we do get to the exit in here without finding her, we will drop a portal and then come back once we get to the waypoint in the next area. Here's Deshret. The guy there, Hammerstorm, can be really, really dangerous, especially if you don't have good resist, so I tend to avoid him.
Once fought together, I honor their friendship.
And then we try and find the exit to the next area. And now we reach the door to the crystal veins. In this area there's a waypoint. We will try and get there before moving on. If you reach this plateau with the guy on it with Righteous Fire, it indicates that you're pretty close to the exit. Speed shrines while leveling are also nice. Do try and grab these whenever you can. Once we get to the waypoint, we will hit the waypoint, then we will head back to town. Once back at town, we head to Tsuni, who will give us the skill book for saving Deshret. And it is this point in all my characters that I then go to run the first lab. You should have got all the trials by this point in order to do this, and you should be around level 31. Before we do that, we just assign our skill points. The running of lab is outside of the scope of this video. However, we can go straight to the trial because we picked this up in Act 3.
I cannot do this yet.
Okay, now the labyrinth is out of the way. We're going to go back to the crystal vein. And we're going to go through Duresso's portal to go and kill Duresso. The reason I go this way first is because the boss fight seems to be easier. Once in here, we walk our way around until we find the area with the boss in it, which is normally towards the bottom right, although not always. Once we reach the boss, the gates will close behind us. This boss fight, he uses some kind of cyclone and then uses those things to hit the ground really hard. However, he didn't last long. Once you dispatch him, we head out to the Grand Arena. Once in the Grand Arena, go and grab the waypoint, and then just follow the road to the next area. Unless this area contains a lot of blues, there's absolutely no point in running it, just run straight to the exit. Same with the next area you're about to get to. Again, just follow the road around. The next area, always head upwards. And this will be 3 bosses. Now, these don't tend to do a lot of damage, so just try and dodge their attacks the best you can and hit them. Once they're dispatched, straight to the passageway to exit. The next area is Duresso. This fight can be painful. When you wear him down, he will go into sort of a hibernation phase where you can't do any damage to him. He'll also launch these monsters around him, which will explode. Stay out of that circle when that happens. If you're in the circle, get out of it. Also, after each of those phases, he'll fire his weapon at you. Do try and stay outside of this weapon. It does a lot of cold damage.
For
Once he's dead, we simply pull out and go back to the veins. Speak to Lady Dahlia briefly in the veins just to get the item that you picked up from the dresser out, because it is a 4-slot item which can take up a lot of your inventory. In this section, you don't need to kill much, just literally find the little legs and run out. Pretty much any exit off the edge of these or any stairs are the way to go. Now these totems that fire out fire, you don't need to kill them. But if you do, try and avoid their fireballs, because they will kill you very, very quickly. Eventually you'll reach this bridge. Once you get to the end, there'll be a doorway. This doorway leads you into the second part of the area. At the end of this area, you'll find Calm himself, who you must then dispatch. I don't know why I've started using the word dispatch. Kill. This area is mostly those little people, none of which cause much of a problem, although they do fight quite a bit of cold, so they can freeze you if you're not careful. Although if you're wearing the same boots as me, which are these Wanderlust, you can't be frozen while wearing them, so you're pretty safe. A lot of the time, if you don't know where you're going, head bottom right of the area you're in, and that tends to have a chance of being your exile. This area is very, very long, and so there's probably a lot of it I've skipped, but eventually you'll reach all these little things sticking out of the ground. This is where Calm is, and we just run up here, and then enter the caldera of the king. Apply any skill points before the boss fight starts. It won't start until you get anywhere near him. This boss fight, the most dangerous thing is the things coming in from the edge of the arena. He will jump around quite a bit, and then fire that big fire thing. It's very easy to dodge those. It is the fire coming in from the edge of the arena that kills me most if I do die. Again, this is all fire damage, so make sure you have some fire resistance rings on or something before the fight starts. Once it's complete, we can just log out again, and then we go back and speak to Not a Cockroach Lady. When we talk to her this time, she'll activate that weird device and drill through the wall, and then we can enter the belly of the beast. Once you're in the belly of the beast, work your way down the corridors until you find the exit. There is a lot of dead ends in this area, so just bear with it. And eventually you'll reach the belly of the beast level 2. Same thing in here, get to the end again, and this time you'll face Piety and a load of those weird eye things that float out of those things. Don't know what they're called. Those things. Eye hatchery. Because of course it'd be called that, because it hatches eyes. Yeah. Now the problem with eye hatcheries is they drop those little seals on the ground that will kill you, so be very, very careful once you get to the Piety fight. They don't activate when you sort of land on them, they explode after a certain period of time, so they're not lethal just to stand on. Okay, once we reach the bowels of the beast, this is where we face Piety. The fight gets a bit hectic, so once we're inside, I'll try and explain as quickly as I can, as best I can. So first things first, hit her. She will, every so often, throw out some balls, avoid them, like that one there. Now she finds out 2 or 3 of these before going into her next step, which is this round the arena beam. Do try and dodge this as best as possible. It will kill you if you stand in it for long enough. And this repeats over and over, bearing in mind that the hives around the area, or hatcheries around the area, are launching those things on the floor frequently. It can be quite difficult to dodge the balls and the beam, so do try your best. Eventually she'll go down. This is another boss you have to talk to open the exit. Once we talk to her, she'll open up the next section. Go into the harvest. And in here, this is a fixed arena. We go left first. Go through this door. Go around this load of spikes. And then head straight upright. Through another door. And keep going up until we find the waypoint. We can apply any skills at this point. Upon reaching the waypoint, we drop down and head right. At this hump, go straight back down. Do not go up and round. Alright, we'll see a door. This is to the first mini-boss fight, who in this case is Malagaro.
Dissection time.
This boss fires out some chaos arrows and also drops these chaos bombs on the floor, and then that big red thing. Not sure what the red thing does, but the rest of the damage is physical and chaos. This boss can be extremely nasty. The best way of dealing with him is to go around him in a circle and try and avoid his bombs. Once we've killed this boss, we will log out, log back in, and go back to the waypoint. And then back. That just saves us having to walk all the way back to the centre. When we get to this point here where there's a forward and an upwards, we go upwards first. That thing's got some hit points. And again, very, very shortly we'll be presented by another boss room. And in this case we have Doriani. Now again, I'm going to charge up my skills first if she'll let me. This boss is pretty easy, but she does hurt if she get hit, so make sure she doesn't hit you is the key. She sort of fires in the last direction that hit her, so hit and then move. Rinse and repeat. If you are sort of trying to rest while your skills regen, you can hide behind these pillars. Also note on the floor there's some curses, there's 3 of them and some of them overlap in the centre. So these can reduce your damage and increase the damage you take and also slow you down. So it's always best if you can fight her in the neutral part of the arena, which was over here at current, but she doesn't often like to move from the centre. And also if you're a bit late to move out of the way, your movement skill can help a lot with that. Once we've got the lungs, we head out of there and head back down the passage we came up. And then we go left. And again, we'll meet a third boss very, very shortly. And this one, the last one, being Chevron. Note the bosses aren't always in the same place, even though the arena's static. They do switch around the bosses.
Give in to grace. Beauty shall prevail.
Now she's just going to fire out those balls and also drop books on the ground. Now, when you're close to her, she will also use some kind of that thing there, where she just fires lightning from her fingertips.
Beauty shall prevail.
After so long in the fight, she will raise up above the arena. During this point, she's untargetable. She'll also teleport around and then continue with her onslaughts. Once she's down, we head back to the centre to fight the final boss of this act, which is Malachi. And some of Piety, but very little of Piety. She's actually trying to help. Swap out flasks. And because we've swapped out flasks, we'll go back to town. We now talk to Piety, and she will open up the Black Core. Once inside the Black Core, the sphincter will open, and Malachi will rise from it.
Bow your head to your one true God.
Now, Exile!
In this fight, whenever he's got this sort of red bars around him, he's immune to damage. Piety removes that with her beam. Every so often, he'll fire those things out of himself. Also, he drops these things on the floor. You can destroy the seals on the floor, which do damage when you stand on them, by dropping your totem on them. He's now immune again. She goes, kill me. At this point, you've got to take her down to half health. He does similar to what she did before when you caught her earlier. Once she's down to half health, she will start channeling again, and it will be immune. It won't be immune anymore. Now, whenever he goes underground, he'll pop up where you were before and slam the ground with his attack. And now we take the rest of Piety's life while he's immune. He can still attack in his usual way, so do be cautious. And as soon as she drops, he will go into the ground after sort of impaling her. There's then a pause in this fight while we wait for the sphincter to open and allow us into the arena. There we go.
Now, let us see if you truly understand what it means to be Nightmare.
I cannot do this yet.
You are being selfish.
In this arena, he does pretty much what he did before. We take him down to a third of his life, and he'll go in front of one of these trees. They're not actually trees, they just look like it. They're actually part of his organs. During those trees, he gains an invulnerability, almost like what he had before. The difference being that he starts to regen health rapidly during those phases. So the quicker you kill the trees, the less problem you're going to have killing him.
You are being selfish.
Again, his attacks are pretty much the same as usual, so he's done that one. Those tentacles do hurt, but they're easily countered. Just jump behind him. Once you take down the third heart, he's completely vulnerable, and then it's just time to kill him. And the same trick that we used with the seals before works. So drop your totem on them, and they'll blow up without doing any damage to you. He'll now go to his last piece,
Is the true eternal.
which we dispatched in the usual manner. Note also at this stage, there's a circle appeared on the ground. This does damage over time, so stay out of it. And when he's down, we can log out. You can now talk to anyone in here, though no one really has anything to say, apart from this guy at the end. The quest system will whinge at you unless you speak to him, so it's worth just to speak to him so they shut up. Now, when you meet the two ladies at the exit, one is Dahlia, or Diala even. She will let you choose a gem.
They all... The gate is...
Oyen will give us a golem. And then once we're done, we head out this door. Right, we go for the map, we'll head towards Act 5. And then we'll reach this device where we hit the lever, it will activate a portal which will take us into Act 5. We appear like the Terminator, only fully clothed this time. And that's the end of the Act 4 guide. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time. You've been watching Altec 2K. Thank you for watching.